Meghan's biggest mistake was to destroy Harry's beautiful relationship with the late Queen. Now, from the evidence that I have seen, I have come to accept that Harry was kind of a favorite of the late Queen. After all, who else could have possibly gotten away with some of the things that he did while he was growing up and still be so close to her? I suspect that she herself, when she was younger, had a bit of a wild side, and I can only assume that she saw a lot of that in Harry. Now, of course, this is pure speculation, but I think that she really did want him to be happy. Ugh, and then Meghan. What in the world can we even say about her at this point? Now, when Meghan first entered Harry's life, I, like everybody else, was excited for him. It seemed like Harry was finally settling down, that he wasn't going to be out partying in Vegas anymore, he wasn't going to be losing his clothing in a strip pool game, or wearing some really inappropriate costumes. It looked like he had finally grown up. And I was happy for him, that I thought he had found somebody that would make him happy. And I'm going to be honest, I believe that Meghan would be a fresh and different face to the royal family, with different life experiences than the rest of the people. I viewed her as an asset to the royal family, actually, but boy was I wrong. Like the rest of us, I believe the royal family, including the late Queen, supported Harry and Meghan. Now, they told Harry that maybe he needed to take things a bit slower and take his time to get to know her, but I think that they tried to welcome her. The Queen even broke her own rules and let Meghan celebrate Christmas with Harry before they were actually married, which had actually never been allowed before. She let her borrow a tiara, even though she had that blow up into Tiaragate, and I think the Queen was just trying to like Meghan, because in the beginning it seemed like she really was making Prince Harry happy. And of course, he was one of the favorites, so she would have been absolutely thrilled for him to get his happily ever after story. But soon enough, Meghan showed that she was a very poor fit for the role of a royal. Now, I know that's blunt to say, but I think it has been demonstrated that Meghan was not going to be so effortlessly slipping into the workings of the royal family. She ignored the advice from everyone. She made fun of the rules, and she ignored the protocols of the monarchy. Time after time after time, it was not an isolated incident. And even though Meghan was disrespectful towards the late Queen, I think the Queen still tried to like and accept her, as did the rest of the royal family, because they knew that Prince Harry's happiness was so important. And then, of course, Megxit happened, and that was thrown at her pretty quickly. And then Prince Philip began getting very ill. And instead of being at home in England to support his family, Harry decided to do a live interview with Oprah that was full of at least 16 verified lies. The Queen and Philip had been together for such a long time, and he was such a support system for her. She could have certainly used all the support from her family at that time. But instead of being there for his supposedly beloved grandmother, Harry decided that he wanted to attack his own family, tell lies about things that were proven to be untrue, and really destroy his own credibility with basically everybody. There has to be a special circle of hell in Dante's version for people who could so publicly disrespect their own family. I mean, Harry claimed that he looked up to Prince Philip. Prince Philip was on his deathbed when Harry did all that. When we really look at all aspects of the situation, it becomes clear that the late Queen was not the problem. The royal family was not the problem. Instead, it looks like the problem came directly from Meghan Markle. And maybe I'm going to get a lot of hatred coming from Meghan fans, but she didn't bring anything of value to the table. She was rude, she was entitled, and she was such a bully. She's still a bully. So no, it's important that we blame the person who is at fault, and it's not the late Queen. I think that she really tried her best to get along with Meghan, but with some people, it doesn't matter how hard you try, it's just not going to work out. And I guess Meghan had about 1,000,001 reasons to dislike the late Queen. I know Meghan talks a big talk about feminism, but she doesn't believe in 1 ounce of its worth and what it means to women around the world. I mean, do you remember that over-exaggerated curtsy that she did in that stupid Netflix docuseries as she talked about curtsying to a queen that was loved all around the world? While millions of people around the world watched Meghan show such disrespect to a monarch who was also a woman, she was just giggling. She was tickled pink. And even if there are members of the public that are anti-monarchist, I don't believe for 1 minute that some of them would have approved of Meghan trying to ridicule the late Queen, especially because she was only afforded this global platform by the person that she married, Harry, who is the grandson of the late Queen. It was so disrespectful. I mean, the way that she ridiculed the late queen. And it was really an ageist attack, too. She's supposed to be all woke, but she's not. She's just unbelievably rude and disgusting and vile. She claims in her ramblings that she wants women to achieve and fulfill their own ambitions, which unfortunately for Meghan, well, they're doing that without her voice, that Spotify got rid of, because her voice was so negative. She was always talking about stereotypes, and she was not giving the guests a chance to actually talk about their achievements. And why? What is her problem exactly? Now, my opinion is that she was just so jealous of these female icons she got on the show that she had to shut them down. She couldn't stand it if the world was listening to them instead of her. And she claimed to have so much respect and love for the late queen, but she would turn down personal invitations to go visit her over and over again, even when she was close to the end and they were only an hour and a half away. Instead, Harry decided he wanted to go to Germany so he could go out drinking. Now, the list of examples like this is incredibly long, but the thing is, Meghan and Harry see nothing wrong with their behavior. They just do not care. Meghan's ego just couldn't stand it that a monarch from one of the most famous royal families in the world was a woman who was loved by people all over the world. And this is, of course, what Meghan wanted for herself. But, she doesn't have any characteristics that could possibly have ignited the public interest and endeared them to her. She could never be queen, but she wanted to oust the late queen in the popularity stakes by trying to feed off the late Diana's memory. She is such a parasite. Meghan is not a feminist, come on. Her dislike of the queen was because she wanted something that she could never get, and like all malignant narcissists, she was going to try to destroy what she didn't deserve. Meghan wanted to be the head honcho, and she was surprised when this elderly lady of 90 years old could match her machinations with some of her own. From the very beginning, the Queen saw Meghan for what she really is, and the Queen blocked her attempts to get control of the royal family, as she should have done. Well, Meghan doesn't like it when other people tell her that she needs to act right, so Meghan decided to go on the offensive and she started trying to shame the royal family into getting her what she wanted. She wanted power and money and equal status. Well, of course, her little plan backfired. She lost against an opponent that she didn't realize had actual power, and just look at where she is now. Ever since she met Harry, she has been acting, and she's still acting. I read about her visit to Diana's grave, the fake sobbing as she flung herself as close to the grave as possible. Apparently, she has even told Harry that Diana comes to visit her. Meghan Markle is insane, and I'm not sure where I read it, but a little while ago it was suggested that she got help to bring out his insecurities while making him needy for her. I think maybe a psychiatrist advised her on the manipulations that would bond Harry to her, like Diana's perfume, for example. Harry has so much guilt about the night that she passed away. She wanted to speak to both boys. Now, William got to speak to her, but Harry didn't want to. He was too busy playing. It's typical, though. That's who he is, selfish. And you, what do you think about Meghan and Harry's relationship with the late Queen? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. Don't be afraid to like and share this video with your friends and relatives who need it if you preferred it this evening. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.